Hey guys, repackage, repackage, repackage. I heard if you say repackage 3 times, then the candle channel shows up and voila, here I am. Yeah, so we have yet another Bath & Body Works haul video today. We may or may not be talking about repackage. We will see what the haul holds for us today. But we have basically, what is it, like late summer, early fall goods. So we have the Mixed Berry Crumble candle as well as the Gingham Glow candle. Some more 75% off stuff from my gold mine store, and some other knickknacks, and we'll get right into it. Yeah, so let's see. Oh my god, I was so excited for this. So this is not out on the floor, but it is ringing as the $13.95 sale price. So if your store has it, or if they don't even have it on the floor, just ask and see if they might sell it to you, because it is ringing, so they don't have to do a price override on it. And Gingham Glow. I think the official floor set for this whole Gingham launch is supposed to be Sunday night for Monday. And I think SAS also got extended a week, supposedly. I guess they still have a lot of inventory left, and I know a ton of stuff went 75% off, but it's mostly like hand soaps and perfumes and wallflowers, and more body care, and not necessarily candles. So not too interesting. I really don't need anything outside of, actually I don't even need candles, to be completely honest. But yeah, I bought the pocket back, which is in my bag, so I don't have it here, but imagine there's a Gingham Glow pocket back here too. I bought that maybe a week ago, and I've been using it all week, and it's friggin' divine. Oh my god, it's amazing. I love Gingham Glow. And when I first used the perfume in store versus the pocket back, so I've had the pocket back for much longer than that very initial spray of the perfume that I used a while back, or the fine fragrance mist. And oh my god, it's amazing. So the notes on this read golden nectar, marigold petals, and sun-soaked sandalwood. This is $26.95. This is more reminiscent of kind of the original Gingham label that we had versus that gorgeous Gingham Gorgeous one that had the clear cutouts with the gingham pattern on it. Friggin' snatched. But yeah, golden nectar, marigold petals, and sun-soaked sandalwood. This one has the core wicks on it, and that's what that looks like right there. Amazing. Friggin' love it. Oh my god. I still stand by the comparisons of if you like golden sunflower or the marigold and cane sugar thing, very much in that realm. Also very similar to In the Sun. When I use the pocket back, even when I smell this, it's actually quite similar to In the Sun. But if you took In the Sun's sort of that sophisticated vacation sunscreen neroli orange blossom moment that you get, which I friggin' love, and mix that with kind of the sweetness of the sort of marshmallow vanilla sweetness of Daffodil Daydreams. It's kind of like if they took In the Sun and made it more sweeter and less green natural metallic, and that's kind of what Gingham Glow smells like, but very much in the vein of golden sunflower or marigold and cane sugar In the Sun, but make it a little bit sweeter. Yeah, wow, freaking love it. It's just so juicy and floral and just awesome. I can't wait to dig into this. I hope it's as strong burning as it smells on cold, and if it is well performing on this first one, then this is definitely a candidate for a repurchase. So I'll see how this one performs and then move into that. So Gingham Glow right there, love it. So excited to get the shower gel and use a reward on it, which I have plenty of them now that I've been hauling my ass off. Yeah, moving on. Fall stuff. This is actually technically not out yet. I believe she said Gingham Glow and the summer stuff. I think the late summer stuff is mostly already out right now, which there's Summer Rain, Backyard Honeysuckle, Iced Dragon Fruit Tea, and Basil Leaf and Apple. The 2 new ones are Basil Leaf and Apple, which kind of smell like a spicy, an herbal spicy kind of way, apple fragrance. I was just so not here for it. I don't think it's the same as the Garden Station apple that we've had before. This one just had a spicy herbal component to it that made it smell like spicy apple gum. Ugh, not my jam. And then what was the other thing? Summer Rain, which was crisp air and juniper and something else. A harmless fragrance. It was kind of fresh, clean, but also floral at the same time. Pleasant, but nothing groundbreaking. It's just not with my massive candle stash at this point. It's just kind of I don't think I need it. So there was that. But yeah, a harmless fragrance. So that was Summer Rain right there. Cool. Anything else? Yeah, so that stuff's already out, but I think that and Gingham Glow will be out for the next week, and then the week following that is when I think the fall like preview floor set is supposed to happen. And part of that, there's like fresh brewed coffee, caramel pumpkin swirl, champagne apple and honey, all repackages, right? So we don't need that. And the one new one, supposedly, is mixed berry crumble right there. Cute packaging. I love like the bakery motif on this. Kind of cute. And it has a plain white lid on it, and that's what that looks like. $26.95. Freshly picked berries, buttery crumble topping, and cinnamon sugar. And it's like, girl, how is this going to differ from the millions of other berry bakery fragrances we've had? It has a thick rope like wicks on it, and that's what that looks like right there. Yeah. Oh my god, this is very similar to your like Wildberry Jam Donut / Happy Hanukkah / Raspberry Thumbprint type of candle, which we've smelled like ad nauseum, right? Let's see. So we have Wildberry Jam Donut, and that's what that looks like. Yeah, it's really similar to that. We have Raspberry Thumbprint. Not this. This one has so much more of like this buttery feel to it. Yeah, this one has like this really thick, rich, buttery feel that I'm not getting in the mixed berry crumble. And then we have the Happy Hanukkah, which was like a jelly donut type of fragrance, the Sufganiyat. Okay. It's like not exactly this, but very similar to it. This one has more of this bitter brown sugar, realistic quality to it. And kind of like the yeast or whatever you get in the bottom of a like fried donut. Okay. I don't know, they're just also similar. It's like, they might not be the same exact fragrance, but they're close enough. Like they're very similar, you know? It's just kind of like, here's a concept for a berry bakery, berry donut fragrance. And then this is like the 3, 4, 5, 6 variations they had. And then they just slot in a new one with a new name on it every year. And that's kind of what happens. Yeah. It's not blueberry pie either. Blueberry pie has much more of this like, sort of like that crusty, almost buttery, pie crust note that's so distinct and awesome, and it smells more like a baked blueberry Pop-Tart. I'm not getting that from this. This one has more of that sort of like the powdered sugar that you get from Wildberry Jam Donut and the Happy Hanukkah. It's more in line with that. And yeah, Raspberry Thumbprint is more buttery than that is. And then of course we have like berry waffle cone as well, and that's what that looks like. Yeah, totally not this. This is very buttery as well. Very buttery, and more emphasis on that sort of golden waffle cone feel to it. And then it has a little bit of that sort of like cinnamon type of feel mixed in with that butteriness. Yeah, I would say most similar to Wildberry Jam Donut or the Happy Hanukkah. You kind of get like a fried powdered sugar bakery moment with a mixed berry fragrance. Yeah, seems super redundant. But I'll reserve judgment because you guys know I like to really like blast a candle on cold, and sometimes when I warm it up and burn it, I actually might end up liking it, like Danbury Shortbread or Book Loft or whatever. So I'll reserve judgment until I burn it. But on cold, it's so incredibly similar to Happy Hanukkah, which was like 75% off or something, wasn't it, at one point? And Wildberry Jam Donut. That, yeah, very, very redundant. I get more of this like sort of fair food fried donut like funnel cake type of moment mixed with berries. Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. It's just, I guess from a business standpoint, if it sells well and like that variation sells well for them, then I guess let's play it safe and just keep releasing that thing instead of actually giving us something new and more, I don't know, unique. So it is what it is, right? Mixed berry crumble right there. That's what that looks like. Cool. Okay. And then speaking of repackages, Wildberry French Toast, that's what that is. I was about to buy it 75% off pocket back of Brightest Bloom, because I normally like more of the fresh, clean, or floral pocket backs just because it feels like I actually washed or cleaned my hands versus have eaten French toast and spilled maple syrup on me. And I was about to buy Brightest Bloom, and then she was like, you know, we have fall pocket backs in the back. Do you want to try one out? And I was like, okay, you know what, if you say that. And then so I'm just like trying to figure out like which one was the new ones from that fall collection. I was like, sure, why don't I take Wildberry French Toast? And so we have that. Super cute packaging, but a little bummed by the fragrance. Speaking of Wildberry Jam Donut and Happy Hanukkah, this literally smells like Wildberry Jam Donut, but in pocket bag form. Have we had Wildberry Jam Donut or Happy Hanukkah in pocket bag before? let me know. But I don't remember because I normally just don't gravitate towards the foodie pocket bags too much. But this really, I used it and I could smell it in the car ride home. And at first you get like this heavy brown sugar like crumble feel to it, which you get in a lot of those like bakery fragrances. And then when it dries down, it literally smells just like the Wildberry Jam Donut like filling type of fragrance. It really smelled just like Wildberry Jam Donut, but in pocket bag form. So if you're looking for that, here it is. It was yummy and it was nice. It was kind of like a jelly donut on my hands. So on one hand, it's kind of like, okay, my hands now feel dirty because it's like, if I eat a jelly-filled donut, I want to wash my hands because it's going to feel greasy and sticky. But then here my hands actually smell like a jelly donut, but it's also smells good and scrumptious. So it's like that kind of like weird trade-off. But yeah, it doesn't smell like maple syrup or like a greasy, well, a little bit of a greasiness, I guess, from like the sort of donut feel to it. But you don't really get the maple syrup that I would expect in a French toast fragrance. So it doesn't really at all give me French toast, but more so just Wildberry Jam Donut. And so that was that right there. Cool. Let's see. Oh, that was the other. So there's that other summer collection with like the tile artwork on it. I think it's probably three repackages and one new, but two new names. There's Bergamot Waters and some other one that's escaping me right now. Fiji White Sands are the two, like the same returning name ones. And then there's Cafe Latte, which I smelled that and it literally just smells, I don't know if it's an exact repackage, but let me just say it's very similar to white caramel cold brew / whipped coffee / caramel frappuccino. And so we had this from the Candle Day collection release. Rich cold brew coffee, frothy milk, and sweet caramel syrup blended with ice, which is very similar to the notes on Cafe Latte. It's just that super milky, sweet caramel milk fragrance, and it has sort of that sort of burnt popcorn note in it that evokes, I guess, what roasty coffee beans would give you. Very similar to it. Totally redundant, don't need it. And then there was Coastal Cottage, which was like a oak moss and a sage and some other note in it. It was a lot more cologne leaning than I had initially anticipated. At first I was like, is this gonna be beach sage and mint, because it had like a sage note in it. And if you recall, beach sage and mint is very similar or a dupe of moss and mint from Nest. And that makes a mention of moss. So Coastal Cottage has oak moss and sage. So see all the interaction there, but it is not beach sage and mint at all. It's way more cologne-y than that. And it reminds me a whole lot of Boathouse Row, which came out originally in that like lake collection a long time ago. And then we got it in a Candle Day re-release right here. So the original one was 2013 and the Candle Day one must have been 2018. This one also has sage and moss, bay leaves, and pomegranate. So you can see this one has moss and sage in it, so similarities there for sure. Yeah, it smells quite similar. If you like Boathouse Row, I would maybe check Coastal Cottage out. I would say maybe Coastal Cottage smelled a little bit more fresh and not quite so heavy like men's cologne, but still on the cologne type of spectrum for sure, at least in my opinion. I didn't pick that one. I didn't burn it, and I'm not going to burn it because I'm not interested in it, so I can't compare it actually burning if it's Boathouse Row or not, but it's reminiscent or similar of Boathouse Row, so if you like that, then check it out. It's like a kind of like a green but also aquatic cologne fragrance. I don't mind it, but I don't need it because I still have the original Boathouse Row and this one, so I don't need a similar fragrance to it in the new packaging of Coastal Cottage, because I'm not having to finish this, so I just don't need that one. So those were the two new ones there from that summer collection. Okay, moving on. I think a week or so ago, I was going somewhere for recreation, and one of the pathways back home took me through the 75% off Gold Mine City, and I was like, girl, if that's one of the pathways home, let me just go there and see what they got. And that's what I did. And so I was like, let me see what they have. Totally curious, because they had a ton of stuff at the first time I went. And then the second time around, they actually added more stuff to it, which is crazy because normally SAS, the idea is to sell down of stuff and they have less stuff, but they were actually putting out more 75% off stuff. And I was like, oh my God, I'm in trouble. Thankfully, today when I got the Gingham Glow and the mixed berry crumble was that same gold mine city, and they were actually selling down of stuff. Like the one rundown mall store had like significantly less than 75% off candles, but still quite a bit and still way more for a regular average store. The other fancier store still probably had the same amount of 75% off candles, but they weren't adding any new fragrances to it, so I was safe. So any case, this was those two stores a week or so ago, and let's get into it. Let's see. They had a Mary cookie. This was not there initially, and I was like, ooh, I've been really into Danbury shortbread as well as Main Street Bakery, and if you recall, Main Street Bakery is kind of like a vanilla wafer cookie fragrance with banana added to it. So it's like if you took the banana out of Main Street Bakery, you're kind of left with Mary Cookie. And I was like, I'm really digging that fragrance as well as Danbury Shortbread. Clearly, I'm just trying to be a basic gourmand girly here, so let me just get my life with Mary Cookie. Every time I've had Mary Cookie in the past before, it has like the flat curling wicks that like kind of like droop in on you, and it gets like sooty and murky and nasty, and it smells really burnt and grody, and it has like this weird like jalapeno cheddar poppers like moment to it where it just gets like really cheesy and like grody. But I was like, you know what, that was many years ago. Let me see if the new version's better. And this one had the core wicks on it, so it's not doing the sooty, like curling wick thing that we've had before. So it's performing fine. I can smell it no problem, and yeah, I still get a weird cheesiness to it, but when it's burning, I haven't at least yet hit that super burnt, like smoky, grody smelling moment. So yeah, happy to have that. When I want a basic cookie fragrance, this does. And it's like basic without smelling super cheap. So yeah. Speaking of being a gourmand girly, we have cinnamon caramel swirl right here, and that's what that looks like. I have not had this candle since the first time it came out, and the first time it came out, it was it caramel pumpkin swirl? And then it got repackaged as cinnamon caramel swirl in the holiday following that fall release. It was like somewhere in the 2013-2014 time frame. And I bought it both those seasons. And after those 2 seasons, I was like, enough, I don't need this ever again. It's super strong and intense, but it's just kind of like a basic, super intense, sweet, like caramel spice type of fragrance to it. But every year I still pick it up and smell it. And sometimes I just want a basic gourmand. And if it's 75% off, then hey, sure, why not? Gooey caramel, grated cinnamon, vanilla bean, and maple brown sugar. Yeah, wow, this is so immensely strong. You definitely get that like maple sweetness with the caramel and the spices in there. It's crazy intense. When I just want a candle that's just gonna give me like instant fragrance and instant throw, maybe if I'm like getting ready in the morning, I only have like an hour and a half before wherever I'm heading out to or before work or whatever it is, I can burn this one and know I can get instant fragrance and have a good time with it. So cinnamon caramel swirl right there. It is basic, but it's very strong and intense, and sometimes you just want to be slapped with fragrance, and so this fits the bill for that. And lastly, I was hemming and hawing over this one, but I was like, you know what? This candle just does not come out as frequently as it used to before. And while I have like, I don't know, probably at least 4 in my collection at this point, I was like, well, for 75% off, like what is a 5th one? Let me just like lock it in and be done with it, and I don't have to ever worry about this fragrance ever coming back because I'm fully set in my collection. And that is the Perfect Summer, aka Suntan, which is one of my favorite fragrances ever. This is just so nostalgic to me. It's very much like a scent memory driven purchase for sure, because it reminds me of my childhood so much. We always used to like vacation in Hawaii as a smaller child, like quite frequently, and so I would always associate the sunscreen smell because it's like, you know, I was a child back in the 90s, so it was that very classic sunscreen smell that we had back in the day, and this very much captures that, and so it has positive associations to like going to Hawaii or going to the beach or going to the water park, which we did a lot of like water related vacation activities, and so that always has positive associations to my childhood. And this literally smells like the sunscreen that you used to put on back in the day. Now they have like the Hawaiian tropic ones that kind of smell more like coconut, or you have like ones that smell a little bit more like you know, like the bronzing oil has a little bit different like flavor or fragrance to it, whereas this is very much that traditional old school sunscreen that you would always find everywhere, and this is like totally captures all those vacations, and that's why I love it so much. But it's also indeed a like orange blossom type of fragrance, sun-kissed citrus, orange blossoms, and coconut husk. And you guys know I love my white florals, and this totally fits the bill of that tropical white floral, orange blossom neroli moment, so love it. Burned it and it was fine. Kind of a slow schmutzy burn, but it pulled out for now. But it's fun to see it back in yellow packaging, back like when it came out as poolside that one year. So yeah, love me some suntan, 75% off, throw it in the bag, and let's call it a day. So that was that. And I think that's it. A lot of Halloween stuff is trickling through. I was this close to obtaining a Halloween candle today. I was very upset that it did not happen. She's like, you know what? If it's available, let me see if they have it or not. But they had just moved it to offsite, like maybe right before I got there. Total AZ for Angela, Winter Candy Apple and Gingerbread Ramp vibes for sure of it being an offsite. And I was like, you know what? I don't want to pull an AZ for Angela. So if she can't go back to the offsite or whatever the thing is, then it is what it is. So I could not get it, but apparently I think Candy Apple Cauldron was in stock, as well as like the Vampire Blood, but not the Vanilla Woods one, or the Spooky Moontini wasn't there. But I still don't need Vampire Blood, even if it does have a cool lid. I still have last year's and that Ed Hardy label, so I don't need a new one. And that's just not a fragrance that I'm worth like spending, you know, full price money for. But Candy Apple Cauldron or the Wicked Vanilla Woods possibly, especially because those have really juicy ass lids. But yeah, but it just wasn't in the cards today, so Halloween's just gonna have to be until whenever that comes out. So there's that. And let's see, I think that's pretty much it. There's a whole fall White Barn color run of mostly repackages, so we don't need to really talk about that. And we'll just wait for more new fall to trickle in. I think there's like that like late summer, early fall neutrals line that's coming out. That's like a lemon and spice one, which I'm not too interested in, as well as I think there's like a cranberry apple one. We had like iced cran apple before, right? So like, will it be that? Or it could potentially be like the perfect autumn disguise, because that could be maybe a cranberry apple fragrance. I don't know, it could be anything, right? And there's also that jasmine currant, which is just 1,000 Wishes deceptively repackaged. That's also coming back out too. So not too interested in the neutrals. So I'm sure there'll be more juicy fall stuff to come for sure. So once that comes trickling in, you guys know I will be on it. So that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.